In John's Gospel today, we hear Jesus speaking to his disciples. I still have many things to say to you, but they would be too much for you now. But when the Spirit of truth comes, he will lead you to the complete truth, since he will not be speaking as from himself, but will say only what he has learnt, and he will tell you of the things to come. He will glorify me, since all he tells you will be taken from what is mine. Everything the Father has is mine. That is why I said all he tells you will be taken from what is mine. Over the last few days, we've been hearing each day from that passage in John's Gospel known as the Last Discourse, the words that Jesus speaks to his friends at the Last Supper. A number of themes have been building and growing and now begin to draw to a conclusion. Jesus has been speaking to us about the new commandment to love one another. He has been reminding us that he calls us friends and not servants. And now we look to the coming of the Spirit of truth that will lead us into all truth. Tomorrow we'll be celebrating Ascension Day, and we then begin to look for the coming of that Spirit as we prepare to celebrate the Feast of Pentecost. The Spirit comes to inspire us, to lead us, and to guide us. Over the last few days, another theme has begun to appear around us in society. As the government announced the next steps in the roadmap, so we begin to shift from the legislation that says thou shalt not to personal choice about whether we do or do not. This was illustrated on Monday when Boris Johnson spoke of the change to the agreement that people could now hug their families and friends. But that was followed by some provisos, that this was now a matter of personal choice. This was for us to weigh the risks, to assess whether we should or shouldn't, and to do what we believed was right. In that personal choice, in that believing what is right, we need to weigh up a number of different things. Our own personal wants, what we are comfortable with, what we desire, alongside what is right for others, our calling to be aware of others and their needs, and to seek to discover what they would want, to be aware of what is required to respect them and their wishes alongside our own. That personal choice, that taking responsibility for our actions, lies behind those readings in John's Gospel. We are called to take responsibility for our lives, for the way that we live, for the decisions that we make, and for the things that we do. And that personal responsibility has to be informed by that Spirit. For we are friends of Jesus, not servants. We are called not to follow blindly and slavishly diktats and instructions, but instead to think and to reflect and to discern what is right, what it is that God is calling us to be, both as individuals and as a community. To think about how our actions have an impact on others. To think about how we can show that love, that respect for others by the decisions that we make. In the coming weeks, we can reflect more on those personal choices, but particularly this year as we reflect on climate justice, to perhaps also begin to think about the things that we can say, the things that we can do, the choices that we can make that will bring about a change in our world. Our personal choice is a precious thing, and it's important that we use it wisely. So let us pray that we may be open to the Spirit of truth, that spirit of truth may inspire, inform, and guide us, so that in our personal choices in the days ahead, we may reflect God's love and be signs of his kingdom in all that we are and do.